welcome back. Took a little bit of a hiatus. With my busy working schedule, I didn't find time to produce a podcast that I would enjoy and was quality, so I am doing it today. We will do two episodes today, one sports and one dedicated to music. So, diving into my sports aspect of this podcast, first, just to catch up on a couple things that happened while I took my hiatus. Um, Tiger Woods, if you haven't heard about Tiger Woods, you've been living under a rock, first of all. Tiger Woods was arrested um, a week ago, I believe. He was arrested for DUI. And when I heard this, I thought, oh, God, he's been doing the drinking. But come to find out, he got arrested for DUI for prescription drugs that he took. And he blew a .000 on the breathalyzer, and then took a urine sample later, and it was shown that he was high on prescription drugs. Now, this is just another chapter in the saga of Tiger Woods' downfall, which will probably make for a very interesting documentary and movie in the coming years if he ever comes back from this. But ever since that whole scandal where he was having multiple relations with multiple people, his career has kind of gone down too, with the knee injuries, and I think his back has been hurting him as well. There's just been a lot of injuries for Tiger Woods, and he hasn't been able to recover from it, and he hasn't played in a full PGA Tour in quite some years, and it's always been scheduled that he's going to play, like the Masters and other PGA Tours and stuff like that, but he can't, and he either plays through two rounds and then quits, or he just withdraws due to the pain that he has. So, maybe, I was talking to one of my coworkers. We were discussing this matter when it happened, and he brought up an interesting fact. Maybe the key to his success was, having relations with these women, and that's makes you wonder how long that was happening, because he was dominant in the late 90s and early 2000s, and you wonder how long this happened before someone caught it and someone made it known that he's been doing this. Numerous women came out and said that they had relations with Tiger Woods. I can't remember the exact number, but it was more than 12, and it was quite shocking to know the number of people that he had relations with. And maybe, quoting Austin Powers,
I've lost my mojo.
So maybe that's it. So, I mean, time will only tell. Maybe Tiger Woods will come back from this. Maybe not. I really don't know. All I know is Tiger Woods is on a downfall, and he needs some sort of help. I mean, if you're addicted to prescription drugs and are taking prescription drugs like that, there's something wrong with you. Again, he did say that it was a mistake, but I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. And this is just another chapter in the Tiger Woods saga that's just been going on since ever since that whole scandal happened with his wife. So, moving on, NBA Finals been a little boring so far. So, Game 4 is tonight. The Golden State Warriors hold a 3-0 lead over the Cleveland Cavaliers, the defending champs, and I'm hearing a lot of things. Stephen A. Smith said it. A bunch of other people have said it too, saying Kevin Durant is the greatest player ever now. I mean, let's pump the brakes a little bit here. I will admit Kevin Durant is a good player. Again, I don't think he's top 10. No, I let me rephrase that. I think he's top 5 through 10. And I did my list on my top 5 greatest NBA players of all time, and you can listen to that in my other podcast. I will put a link in the description for that, so you can listen to that. So, LeBron is in 6 through 10. Kevin Durant is in 6 through 10 as well. I mean, all this talk about Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players ever because he's scoring all these points. Let's calm down. I mean, he hasn't he hasn't done anything. I mean, he's doing what he's been doing for years. He's got an easy access to win a title now. And if LeBron James and company don't turn around, I mean, there's his first title. It's going to be on a technicality, is how I see it. I mean, he basically, in the words of Space Jam, he joined the Monstars after you know getting beat 3-1 when he was up, beat in Game 7 of last year, and then he goes to the dark side, as people say, and joins an already loaded team with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and he makes that team unstoppable. And I just don't. I want the Warriors to win, but I also don't want the Cavaliers to win. And it's a series that I haven't really cared about, and I haven't really watched a lot of because it's just been this whole playoffs has been boring. Um, Minus the two three close games there has been. All the games have been blowouts, and Adam Silver must be seeing all the you know the the listings of people that are watching the games and how many interactions are going on with the games and stuff like that. And I'm sure that the ratings and views are down from last year because again, it's just been boring playoffs, and maybe that's something that Adam Silver needs to address. Maybe I mentioned this before, but maybe we go to an NCAA tournament type of playoffs, and you know number one overall record gets the number one seed, and the number two overall record in the NBA gets the number two seed, and then we go from there. So you have East and West teams playing each other, and now you don't have West and East conferences. Maybe that's something to bring up in the NBA meetings, but time will only tell. Um, Speaking of the NBA, 2021, or is it 2020? I think it's 2020 Olympics are going to have 3-on-3 basketball, which I think is a great, kind of add on to the already stellar Olympics. So the rumor is maybe there's an OKC reunion of Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden, which would be great. I mean, I don't know if they're all going to get together, get along, and stuff like that. But time will only tell. We'll see who the U.S. actually brings to the stage. It might be LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Stephen Curry, or something like that. That would be a treat to see as well. Any of the NBA All Stars. If you put three of those together, and Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and uh, Draymond Green, for God's sakes, I mean that would be a sight to see as well. So we'll see who headlines that team, and we'll see who coaches that team. Um, it's going to be exciting to see how that goes forward into the oncoming or the incoming Olympics, the Summer Olympics, not the winter, of course. But anyways, back to the NBA. There's been a lot of talk about Mike Brown stepping in for Steve Kerr. Mike Brown is the assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors, and Steve Kerr, because of his back, he had surgery on his back last year. Luke Walton stepped in, and now Luke Walton is the head coach for the LA Lakers. And now it was troubling him again. Steve Kerr's back, and he had to take a leave of absence. And he just coached his first NBA Finals this year in Game 3. Mike Brown has been stepping in and taking the roles of head coach, and I really like Mike Brown. I hope he gets a head coaching job somewhere in the NBA, or there was a lot of rumors of when the Ohio State coach Thad Matta, he either he quit or retired. I don't know. I missed that story, but Thad Matta's not there, and they were looking. Ohio State was looking for a new basketball coach, and Mike Brown's name got mentioned. But of course, that position has been filled as of today. So back to Mike Brown. I really like Mike Brown as a coach. I like the way he plays, how he motivates his players, and he coached LeBron early in his career, and then went to LA for 2 years, and now back to um, Cleveland for the first he was there right before LeBron James got there, and then he was fired. Actually, no, he was let go, and now he's the Golden State assistant coach. Um, so his records, his career record is 347 and 216 as head coach. Um, he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers from 2005 to 2010. Um, so he reached the conference semifinal in his first year, lost in the NBA Finals. His second year, reached the conference finals, semifinals again, lost. Conference finals, lost. Conference semifinals, lost. Conference semifinals, lost. And then 2012-13, he was fired after a 1-4 start. So the leash was short for him. And then he was hired by Cleveland again, and they missed the playoffs, and he was let go. So I think you pair him with a good player, maybe John Wall or wherever Carmelo Anthony goes, or we'll see where he goes, or maybe wherever Paul George goes. Maybe Paul and Mike Brown can coexist, but there, he has the right mentality and he has the right tools. He just needs the right players, and I think he's going to win an NBA championship. Um, he just needs a chance, and he's proven that he's had chances, and he's had solid players. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James early in his career, um, but Kobe Bryant's teams, the 2011 and 12 and 12 and 13 teams, um, there wasn't really much talent on those teams. Uh, Kobe Bryant was basically the only talent on those teams, and then 2012-13, he only was there for 5 games, and then he got fired. So, I mean, the leash is very short for Mike Brown when he was with the Lakers. But again, he has the right tools, has the right mentality. He just needs the right players and an opportunity to coach. And he possibly will get an NBA championship by the end of his career. But I really like Mike Brown, and I like what he's been doing with the Golden State Warriors, keeping them focused, and still undefeated in the playoffs, which is something Cleveland Cavaliers could not do, it's just crazy. Speaking of the Cleveland Cavaliers, there has been a rumor when LeBron James' contract is up that he might go to LA and play for the Lakers or Clippers, which would be just astronomical. I don't think LeBron could coexist with the LA crowd, especially the Lakers, if the Lakers end up drafting Lorenzo Ball and take on that mess of Lorenzo Ball's father, LeVar Ball. I don't think LeBron would coexist with that. And, I don't think LeBron would get along with the young players in LA. Russell and Nick Young and people like that. I think he's just at the point of his career where he doesn't want to deal with people that have been in the NBA for only 4+ years. He needs veterans. He needs people that know the NBA system, and he doesn't want to have to teach younglings how to learn the NBA system. NBA rookies, I should say. So I don't see him going to the Lakers. The Clippers is a different story. Teaming up with Chris Paul, but Chris Paul is getting older. He's not, dishing out assists and points like he used to. So I don't see him going there. I don't know if he would coexist with Doc Rivers either, just because Doc Rivers has a very interesting coaching style, and I don't think that suits LeBron James' coaching style with him, frequently clashing with Tyronn Lue. Doc Rivers has very similar coaching style as well. You can see, you will get glimpses of LeBron being very angry with Tyronn Lue, stuff like that, yelling at him, saying you should call timeout here, you should put in me, stuff like that. LeBron is a player coach, pretty much, and he does what he wants, and he coaches when he wants. And if you try to coach over him, he's not going to like it. So Doc Rivers is, he likes to be the person in charge, and he likes to be the general there. So I don't know if that would work. So time will only tell. That 2018 summer should be interesting. A lot of people that are going to the NBA free agency, so you might see a lot of people jump ship, changing ships, going to different teams, teaming up with other people, stuff like that. So it should be interesting. Should be very interesting. Now, speaking of Lorenzo Ball, he worked out with the LA Lakers over the weekend, closed workout. His father, Lorenzo Ball, was not in attendance. He was actually uh, requested to not be in attendance. And the funny thing is, I saw pictures of his workout with LA Lakers, and I thought he would be wearing his $350 shoes, and he showed up in James Harden's signature shoes and wore those, which made me think that he doesn't like his own shoes and that his shoes are garbage. It just proves my fact. I'm just putting it out there right now. And of course, he made up an excuse of, I didn't have the shoes or something like that. I didn't really read about it. But regardless, if you have a signature shoe, you're supposed to wear your signature shoe. And you're not supposed to wear anybody else's shoe. That's like the golden rule of having a signature shoe is one, you do not wear anybody else's shoe except your signature shoe. And he shows up to his first NBA workout, NBA anything in someone else's shoes. It just come on. What is your thought process there? I mean, come on. That's just it just made me laugh when I saw that so much. And just like, come on, dude. Seriously. So, um, NBA draft, it's going to be interesting. I'm hearing a lot of things. I'm hearing, Celtics should trade away their pick. Lakers might not take Lorenzo at number two. They might take someone else. I believe the guy from Kentucky. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if I'm thinking of the right guy, and I don't want to be made an idiot, say the wrong person. But the guy from Kentucky, they might take him instead of Lorenzo. So Lorenzo's stock might drop. But also, um, Adam Silva said that once Lorenzo gets to the NBA, LeVar Ball's characteristics and personality needs to tone down, and he said it will tone down, which means he's going to be on the short leash. Which, again, really like Adam Silva. He's doing a great job as commish. Keeping everybody in order and in line, and you know I've said this before, but if Lorenzo goes to LA and LeVar shows up to games, I mean, he's going to clash with fans. Jack Nicholson, um, Jay Z, he's going to try and talk to Jay Z, and I don't think Jay Z is going to have anything to do with that. But all the celebrities that go to the Lakers games, he's going to possibly get it into a fight, and possibly we'll probably have another Charles Oakley incident, and we'll have to see how that goes. But you know, I it's just someone needs to just slap him, LeVar. I really don't like LeVar. A lot of people don't like LeVar, and it's just he's a bad role model, and he sets a bad example for actually yeah he said it's a bad example for parents who have kids that play sports. And it's not just him. You see this a lot, and I've alluded to this a lot in previous podcasts. But there's a great, interesting documentary on Netflix. It's called Trophy Kids. It's about parents that over control their parent or their kids when they're playing sports, whether it's basketball, tennis, football, baseball, any of those. The parents are too controlling, and they're making it like a job, the sport, and they're not letting their kids have fun. It's just the sport, 24/7, actually 25/8. So LeVar is just another example of that. Speaking of bad role models, Sports Illustrated put out a video of, I believe it's a high school softball game. There's a person on first, person on second. There's a batter in the box, of course, and I believe the count is 3-2. And pitch comes down. It's a little inside, but it's called a ball. and you can hear it in the video. The fans do not like the call. Um, the coach of the defensive team calls time, and they huddle together. So they huddle for about 2 minutes or so, and then they go back to playing. The next pitch, I kid you not, hits the umpire square in the helmet. And I watched it several times. I watched the video several times, and the umpire was hit intentionally. The catcher doesn't make a play on the ball. The catcher just moves out of the way as the pitch is coming in, leaving the umpire extremely exposed and hits him square in the face. And then the umpire just takes off his mask and walks away, and that's the end of the video. And it's just, who in the right mind thinks it's okay to nail an umpire intentionally? I don't care how angry you are. You do not do that. That endangers someone's health. I mean, who thinks that is okay? And for a head coach to say you need to nail this person as hard as you can in the head, what kind of person does that say of your character? And what lessons are you teaching your kids if you are saying you should nail this person in the face? I don't care if he's a ref or if it's another player. You should not intentionally hit someone in the face. That's just ludicrous. And that, again, that's endangering someone's health, especially when you hit them in the head. Granted, he looked like he was okay. The umpire, he looked like he was okay, and it could have been a lot worse. So if I can find it, I will put that in the description as well, so you can watch that. And feel free to give me your thoughts on any of the topics that I talk about today. And give me your thoughts on, trophy kids, trophy parents, LeVar, any of the topics that I have covered today. So that'll do it for today's episode of Radio Calling. Again, I apologize for the hiatus. My work schedule is a little crazy, working for a baseball team in the summer. So I will do these podcasts as much as possible, whenever I can. We might have to double up a couple days, like today, where one will be sports and the other will be about music. Anyways, that'll do it for another episode of Radio Calling. Thank you for joining me. I am Sam. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LondonCalling22. Be sure to press that subscribe button and leave a comment of any of the topics that I covered today. Give me your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. This is all about creating dialogue. So, again, this is Radio Calling, and we'll see you later.